So welcome to the second part of this program. So we're going to have the valid anagram problem. So this problem is pretty simple. We have given two strings s and t. Return true if it is an anagram of s and false otherwise. An anagram is a word or phrase formed by rearranging the letters of a different word or phrase, typically using all the original letters exactly once. Now we have an anagram like this, and then this nagram. Then this is true. Okay. What is the inputs? Contains Unicode characters. How would you adapt your solution to such a case? Now, over here you can see that we have the code, and we got to write this in. It's given two strings s and t. Return true if it is an anagram of s, and false otherwise. So what we could do is, first of all, straight off the bat, you know that s and t will have to be checked. So you could both, have a unordered map and have the frequencies counted for each, and then check it one by one to see everything is there. So basically that is the approach. You would create an unordered map, and it would have a character and then an int. Okay, so you would have to include this header file, which is unordered underscore map. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll have the frequency of the character. So I'll say char frequency. Okay, so we'd have to get the frequency, so we could basically have a for loop here. I would specify a for loop that would go from I0. I is less than the length of the string s, and then we increment the I. Okay, and I use the prefix. First basically increment and then evaluate. So basically almost the same thing in this particular situation. We can use prefix or postfix incrementation. So we have to count the character. So it's pretty simple. All we can do is we put that character inside. So we say char frequency, and we have the character. So you could basically get the character through the substring like this, right? Or the better way to go about this is you could either use this or range-based for loop. So right now let's just consider like this. So we'd have the every single character I. Okay, for each character I, you would increment the count. So basically it would be plus equal to 1. Okay, or basically you could just say plus plus 1 plus plus. So this is there, and then you could go with the other for loop, and this is gonna check this string and see if it all matches. So another way that I wanted to approach this, you could go use this for loop, and you could also use the range-based for loop, which is like this. First you specify which character. Suppose you say character C from the string 2 or whatever the string is. So you could say if the character is in the thing first. So if it's not there, suppose you say the char frequency dot, so if we have to check in the unordered map, so say dot find, and we say the character is equal to char frequency dot end. I mean, if something happens like that, this means that the character is not in the hash map, then we could return false. But if it exists, then we could simply have the char frequency counter. Because we have each character, we could decrement the count by 1. So you could say minus equal to 1, like that. And then once everything is done, you could also have a check over here. if that char frequency of that character is less than 0, then you can basically return false in this case as well. But this only approaches after this for loop. So basically after this one. Sorry, right after this. Okay, so essentially right here after this for loop. Okay, so essentially this is how things will go, and then it should basically get all of this done. And then we have to basically check over here. So we have for loop, and we go pair, okay, in our char frequency, because now we have a frequency counter, and each will have 0, 0, 0. But suppose if any of the pairs does not, any of the pairs second, meaning the value, if that not equal to, if it does not equal to 0, then we go return false from here. And then at the end of the day, we go return true if all of these conditions satisfy. So basically right here. So let's just see how this works. And you can see I got a compile time error. So we can check what the problem is. So over here we have user undeclared identifier C. Okay, that's line number 20. Okay, so basically it's in here, and you have to check if the frequency. Okay, I believe this check would go inside. Basically, it would be within this code right here. Actually, right here. Right here. Because we're basically checking it. And if it actually makes it -0, we could just, from there, just return off it. So I believe that looks good. This looks good. Ready to check it out. And we still got a compile time error. And there you go. Our code works successfully. That's it for this solution.